Okay, so hey everyone, and welcome to this month's community call, which is number 47 at the 17th of October. I'm Samir, Crust Community Manager, and I'm more than excited to share with all of you what are some of the updates which Crust has from the past month. We will, as usual, go over some technical developments, followed by some ecosystem updates, and we'll wrap it up with a community events as well as a QA from our community. And beginning with some technical developments, we have the Crust files and Crust Cloud integration with Hedera Network, which is currently still in progress. If I remember correctly, during the last month's page, we've announced that we are beginning that integration, and now we're currently ongoing it. So we have a couple of updates which we can share, and some of them being that we have initiated the integration of the storage layer from Crust Files and Crust Cloud with the Hedera network to support the file anchoring and trustless verification for the Hedera-based applications. As we know, Hedera is like a pretty big ecosystem all on its own, so we believe that joining them and working together with them, bringing our storage layer, will open the key to many new and good collaborations, and working together will definitely help us develop even further as an ecosystem. We also have some smart contracts that have been deployed and tested on Hedera, and they are currently laying the foundation for seamless access to decentralized storage from Hedera ecosystem DApps. And some further iterations will focus on the SDK packaging, file status proofing, and the developer onboarding support. And as usual, we will constantly be updating you with any information as we are progressing with this collaboration and integration. Moving on, we have completed the Crust mainnet staking reward adjustment mechanism. So yeah, the staking reward adjustment mechanism has been finalized and deployed on the Crust mainnet, and the mechanism is designed to dynamically incentivize validator participation in periods of low staking activity, thereby enhancing the baseline security of the network. And yeah, we believe that this improvement ensures the long-term sustainability and fairness in staking economics. And we believe this is a good approach, using the incentivizing the validators that are participating throughout at the low staking activities. As we know, like not a lot of people are up for doing that, so yeah, we always try to balance it, so compensating more for those people who are active throughout that period. And we have two more updates with Crust Parachain's governance parameter update via the runtime upgrade, which is currently in progress, as well as an update on the Crust Shadow preparation for Kusama Asset Hub migration. With Crust Parachains, we have a new runtime upgrade that is currently under development. And the idea is to adjust the key governance parameters on the Crust Parachain. This upgrade also will include the full support for the Polkadot Unified Address Format, the UAF, which aligning with Crust with the latest identity and the UX standards in the Polkadot ecosystem. And lastly, testing is currently ongoing in Crust Shadow before the release is promoted to production. Again, this is another thing which is currently under development, and we believe that by the next call, I will have a lot more updates on these two topics which are currently in progress, and yeah, they will be significantly advanced, almost, if not completed. And lastly, on the Crust Shadow, we have the Crust Shadow that has been updated to ensure compatibility with Kusama's Asset Hub migration, and this preparation work will enable continued asset interoperability and correct the indexing of migrated assets. And thus the further testing will follow up to verify the on-chain balance transitions and the wallet syncing behavior across parachains. Yeah, we are still heavily working with the Crust shell, even though you may not see us talking about it a lot, posting about it a lot. It is still in our minds. We are constantly working on it, upgrading it, and yeah, it's one-on-one ratio with Crust. We are definitely still cooking with it, if I can say so. And moving on with some ecosystem updates. We are excited to collaborate with Euler AI and welcoming them into the Crust ecosystem. Together, we are working to empower AI agents with scalable, verifiable, censorship-resistant memory. We have been a partner, I believe, apologies, we have partnered with them, I believe, around the mid of the last month. We are still planning some campaigns with them, as you've seen probably from our post, and you may have checked them out. They are currently having a lot of things going on. So yeah, we are still going over the fine details on how we can start a campaign together, which we can explore their product, they can explore ours, and we can work together. We also had the Fire submission for a Fire event, and here goes for Crust files, which we have submitted for the base on-chain summer awards. Upload, share, and own your files on-chain with ease. If you are on Farcaster or the base app, you can definitely try it out. Around the middle of the September last month, Algorand started their biggest campaign, and or apologies, they announced their biggest campaigns, and yeah, we are super excited to be part of it. We have talked with their team, and yeah, we are adjusting how we can be in a collaborational point with them so we can participate in their biggest campaign. We also have another project which we've collaborated with last month, and it's ICB Network. Together, we are bringing decentralized, secure, and permissionless storage to power AI, dApps, NFTs, and metaverse experiences. And yeah, we are happy to have ICB on board. We are always glad to work with projects who we have aligned visions on what we want to achieve together. And in this case, it's the AI, dApps, the NFTs, and the metaverse. So yeah, we are more than happy to collaborate with them and start exploring this partnership. From blockchain to real estate, we were excited to support the Excavate Official and Real Market UK with decentralized storage. Together, we are building the future. Excavate are a dear project to us since we've worked with them for more than a year, I believe, almost to 2 years, and we are always happy to collaborate with them. And now we are moving in our partnership and offering them decentralized storage for their real estate apps. And we believe that going also into these use cases, which no one is really exploring, is the way to go in this space. We were also officially ranked among the top 5 most decentralized networks. And yeah, we'd like to offer a huge thanks to ChainSpec app for this recognition. Decentralization, we believe, isn't just a buzzword, it's the foundation of trust, security, and censorship resistance. And you can find the link for the ChainSpec app, and you can go over the rankings which they had by the Nakamoto coefficient. And yeah, it's that coefficient is representing the minimum number of independent entities. And as you can see, we are currently, as of today, ranking in the first position of that, with some other projects which you can see like Polkadot System, Moonbeam, Ton, Avalanche. And as we all know here, this is all what we are about. We are about decentralization, everyone having control over their things, not having a specific entity somewhere that is controlling everything. We are all for the trust, security, and the censorship resistance. Last month, we hosted a Twitter space with Craplex AI, one of the projects which we've collaborated quite recently. And a couple of topics which we've covered were how decentralized storage and AI will unlock some new possibilities, what Crust and Craplex means for builders and users, and the future of deep-in and decentralized infrastructure. The team from Craplex were very extensive into the answers for the questions which we had for them. And as the weekend is approaching, if you have about 40 minutes, you can always go and re-listen to the space. I really loved hosting the guests from Craplex. They were very cool guys to talk to. And yeah, as mentioned, they were very extensive into their answers on how we can work together. And whether you're a builder or a user, there is something worth hearing from the Twitter space. And at the beginning of last month, we've joined the Web3/Place Builders Twitter space to talk about the blockchain future. And we were joined with 17 other projects. As you may have noticed, this was one of our final Twitter spaces with Web3/Place. We are in talks with them to continue attending spaces. We believe that meeting with all these projects is a good idea for building larger communities, connecting between communities, and meeting awesome people along the way of Web3. Some IRL events update, and yeah, we'd like to thank the Connect 2025 event at Hong Kong for bringing builders, policymakers, and capital together. At the RWA table, Crust shared why we see RWA as the core infrastructure, which is linking the real world finance with on-chain programmability. And yeah, we believe that RWA is one of the hottest topics which will be coming towards the end of this year and moving into the next year. So we are definitely positioning ourselves to be in the leaders of these innovations and bringing the RWA as the connection between the real world finance and the on-chain programmability. Last month, we also attended a Twitter space hosted by Web3 Global Talks. We've been joining their spaces for quite a lot of times, and yeah, last month wasn't an exception. We had a very good topic about the long-term value, and we were there with projects, both new and both projects which we've already been there, such as apologies, such as the FUSD Finance, DashPay, CoreDAO, Chromatica FI, Stablegate.com, and RDNT Capital. And yeah, the topic being long-term value for a project. All of the projects there were quite well aligned with the long-term value for projects. All of them were building something which they had the long-term vision for and keeping on track with it. And moving on to close the agenda for today, we have the update from the Korean Blockchain Week 2025, which was quite frankly busy with crypto. And we had so many exciting side events happening every day. And we are following all the highlights closely and loving the energy from the community. And yeah, definitely from events like these, where we had the Korean Blockchain Week, we had a weekend full of events, but at the same time, we are also having in the day before that, the day after that, we have so many side events where we got the chance to connect with many different projects and explore possible partnerships. And yeah, we are always excited to participate in events like that to meet with fellow builders, users, community members, with anyone just wanting to meet up and chat about anything. And this sums up our agenda for today. This was the updates from the last month, which we had regarding Crust. And now I'd like to go over some of the questions which I selected from the DMs which I received both last night and this morning. I'd like to thank everyone who submitted questions. My DMs were flooding, and it was a tough task to select only 4 of them. But yeah, I will definitely, if you don't hear your question here throughout the weekend, I will definitely go over it and answer it in a direct message. So moving on with the first question being, how does Crust plan to make the Crust token more useful for both community members and developers beyond staking and governance? So yeah, this is one key thing which we are really excited about and trying to evolve the token. So we want to move the token from a purely staking and governance token into a multifunctional utility token, which is across the Crust storage economy. So our roadmap on this introduces a couple of expanded use cases, and some of them being, for example, the storage payments, which will have both on-chain and off-chain. And that means that the token can be used to pay for the decentralized storage via our apps like Crust Files, Crust Cloud, or any future enterprise APIs. And we believe that this opens up directly the utility for both developers and users who consume the storage services. On another note, we have the developer incentivize. So Crust is now featured on the Base Service Hub and offering decentralized storage for Base ecosystem builders with about 1,000 Crust tokens free of storage credits to kickstart your journey. And yeah, I believe this was just about shared in our main group. Yeah, as I'm seeing it, we are already doing that. And lastly, we have the fee burning model, part of the Crust token used for storage or premium services will be burned or redistributed, thus introducing the long-term deflationary pressure aligned with the network usage. And overall, like, we want the Crust token to serve as the sort of gas of the decentralized storage and the bandwidth economy, and making it like an essential part of the app developers, miners, and the end users all at the same time. The next question being, what's Crust's long-term vision for becoming the backbone of Web3's data economy over the next few years? Yes, so some of the things which we are looking forward for the future is envisioning to become the core decentralized storage and delivery layer, which will power the next gen of Web3, especially where we have the content, the AI, and the compute meet together. So our long-term strategy can be, I believe, centered around 3 pillars. So the first one being the universal storage layer. So Crust aims to support all major layer 1 and layer 2 ecosystems, offering SDKs and APIs that allow any DApp to store files, datasets, or model artifacts in a decentralized and verifiable way. The second pillar being the edge-enabled content delivery, the CDN, which is using our Keeper Edge node architecture. We are building a decentralized delivery network that that is intended to reduce the latency and cost for the dynamic workloads, and especially important for AI models or videos or, for example, metaverse content. And lastly, the third pillar is the AI-aware storage protocol. So as AI workloads become more and more decentralized by the day, Crust is developing mechanisms to store, index, and retrieve the structured and as well as unstructured data efficiently, and including features, for example, like vector embedded storage, distributed model checkpoints, and proof of access for the sensitive data. And to sum up on the question, so over the next 3 years, we want developers to treat and to look at Crust as their storage default for Web3. No centralized dependencies and no trust assumptions. Okay, and the third question which we have is, in your September update, you mentioned that Crust is integrating Crust files and Crust Cloud with Hedera network, including deploying and testing smart contracts on Hedera. My question is, what are the main technical challenges faced, the expected rollout timeline, and how it enhances Crust's value compared to other decentralized storage or anchoring solutions on Hedera? Yes, definitely. Our Hedera integration is definitely, we believe, an important step into bridging the enterprise slash grade DLT with the decentralized storage. So on some technical notes, so we have a couple of, if we can call them technical challenges. We have the smart contract compatibility. So Hedera uses a smart contract model, which is EVM compatible, but sort of tightly scoped, and that requires the adaptation of our anchoring logic. We also have the timestamp accuracy and finality bridging. So to ensure that cross storage proofs anchored to Hedera are trust minimized, final, and auditable across chains. And lastly, we have the account and key management. So Hedera's identity model differs from both Substrate or like Ethereum. So some additional UX work is required to support the native Hedera users. And smart contracts have been deployed and tested on the Hedera testnet. The current phase is end-to-end anchoring flow validation. And the next phase, which is planned for the Q4 of this year, is full SDK release plus pilot use cases with the Hedera ecosystem partners. But all in all, it still depends on the Hedera side to decide when to push it to the ecosystem and the market. And lastly, we have another question, now recent collaboration. What governance proposals or incentives is Crust developing to involve its community in co-creating storage solutions for next generation AI DApps, especially in collaborations with partners like ICB Network? So Crust believes that the future of the decentralized storage is definitely lying in the crossover between the AI and the compute-centric applications. So we are co-developing proposals with different partners, for example, like ICB, to support this direction. And a couple of keynotes which we can get from the development is, for example, the AI data bounties. So what that means is that a governance structure is for sponsoring the verified high-quality datasets that will be hosted by Crust and used by AI agents or different model trainers. We will also have proof of access grants. So incentives for building the either ZK or TE based retrieval mechanisms to ensure that the privacy preserving access to training the data or private content. There's also the joint research pilots, which is, for example, with ICV network, and that's designing decentralized storage primitives for the AI generated memory, inference logs on, and for example, the fine tuning that data sets across different chains. And all in all, those are all technical initiatives. We have also some co-marketing and developer funding. For example, we plan to have joint Gauxe campaigns and hackathons to attract AI native builders who need scalable and trustless storage, plus the bandwidth infra. And lastly, one of the final initiatives is the storage DAO proposal, which is currently in early stages. We are exploring a model where the community members can vote on which DApps or projects receive the storage subsidies, similar to the RPC incentive councils, but only for data. And yeah, to close this one, we welcome ecosystem developers to co-design these mechanisms through the Crust governance. And we're actively onboarding contributors who want to shape the future of AI and storage. Again, as numerous times speaking, I believe I've said this for so many times, and that yeah, we are actively excited about the future of AI and the storage and where the two meet each other. And this sums up our community call Q&A part. And I'd like to thank everyone who joined us today. I'm super excited anytime sharing updates with all of you and covering what we've been going over, answering some of the questions which you've had for us. And to close this community call, I'd like to just drop a hint of what's coming next on the community side. For the technical updates, the team is constantly doing updates, and they are always sharing the updates on our socials. But from some of the community side, which I can share, is we are planning another Twitter space, which is similar to a Twitter space which we hosted throughout the summer. I'm not gonna mention what it is exactly yet, but I believe we will be announcing it either throughout the weekend or early next week. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and have a good rest of your day and weekend. Bye-bye.